Welcome to the 1960s Gladiator Round Tournament. Today's matchup features Leon Brown versus Sergio Oliva. The great Sergio Oliva, top seed in this tournament for sure. This is a little bit unfair. Leon Brown is tilted thusly, so it's not a head-to-head comparison. But I think it's safe to say Sergio Oliva would have smoked Leon Brown. Now, I am very strict with these rules. Past the 1950s and the Gladiator rounds, I am all competition pitchers. There was this one of Leon Brown, and it's obvious. There's nothing he can do in this pose against Sergio Oliva. He is getting smoked, 1-0. I believe the score will read 2-0 for Oliva after this pose. This is just a case where Sergio is just too big, too much. It's just the quality. I mean, yes, Leon is quality, but so is Sergio. Look at his little tiny waist. It accentuates everything. Look at those lats. Just impressive. This creature is just amazing. From head to toe as well, look at the size of the calves. Very rarely see that. Big, massive calves and a little tiny waist. Just unbeatable here in this pose. Like I said, 2-0. It's actually a very close little matchup here in the front lat spread. One of Leon's best poses, bar none. This man is incredible. To be able to stand up to this big giant, this juggernaut, Sergio Oliva. Now, there is always to take into consideration the camera angle. There is this here famous picture of Sergio, and he looks unreal. But let's face it, guys. That camera is way down, almost to his feet, I am sure, making those lats appear much more pronounced. So we pretty much have to go with this one here. And I think he is still just too much. Now, if they were the same size, I believe Leon's quality might be a little bit better. But Sergio is a lot bigger here. So this is a pretty difficult matchup for Leon to mount any comeback whatsoever. If he was going to make a comeback, it would be in this pose here. In my opinion, not Sergio's strongest pose. He has the groceries. Yes, he has that big 70s bow. I guess you could call it a 60s bow. But it's just not that aesthetic in my opinion for some reason. I don't know. I can't explain it. But it is more than enough to beat this side chest of Leon. Darn tootin', it is not a strong pose for Leon either. If it had been, then I think he could have snuck up with a victory. At least 1 point in this would be nice for Leon to save some face. And I think that is exactly what is going to take place right here in the side tricep pose. Leon is getting a point here. Of course, many of you may be thinking to yourself, Mark, this is a very bad picture of Sergio. Well, it is the only side tricep that I could find. Very difficult to find one in his prime snapping this shot. But much like the side chest, I believe this is not his best pose at all. And in terms of Leon Brown, this is a fantastic strike and snap of a shot. Enough for a point in my opinion. So there you go, Leon Brown, making Sergio Oliva bow down. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He got 1 point on him, but still very impressive. And unfortunately, there was no full body pictures of Sergio Oliva snapping this rear lat spread. But it is safe to say that he would be winning this hands down regardless. Look at that wingspan. One of the best rear lat spreads of all time. Never mind the 1960s Gladiator round tournament. But surely this is the best rear lat spread in these brackets. For sure. He is taking an easy point here in the rear lat spread. The rear double bicep, it really displays how similarly built these two men are as far as their back developments are concerned. Those lower lat insertions, those are like solid gold as far as genetics are concerned. If you do not have those, then you cannot build them. look at the lower lat thickness of Sergio. Unreal. He is definitely taking a point in this one. But like I said, Leon Brown, a fantastic little rear double bicep. Not bad at all. So this competition, pretty much a blowout. And here in the most muscular pose, this reflects this entire competition. These are two good quality athletes. Just so happens one is much larger. I never really liked the way that Sergio is snapping this shot. Not a lot of people do, I don't believe. But I mean, look at that chest. Just two big, thick barrels. Fantastic. That's probably why he struck the pose like this. Really displayed those pecs. Leon Brown looks fantastic, but like I said, just a little bit too small to compete with this big hunk of a man. We're gonna finish this competition off here with this ab and thigh shot. Now, of course, this is another one of those out-of-date pictures of Sergio. His 1984, I believe, or perhaps his 85 comeback. He was definitely not in his prime whatsoever, but I could not find an ab and thigh shot of him in his prime. And to be honest, he was in pretty tip-top condition as far as the rest of his career is concerned. He always looked big and full, but he never really had those obliques. He never really dieted as strong as they did in perhaps the 80s. Hard to say. Either way, I think Leon Brown brings enough to this package to gather up point number 2. So there you go, Leon Brown, a nice little shot in the arm. And I will see that he gets a little chingle in his pocket there. I'll throw him maybe a deuce or maybe even a sawbuck, an extra bonus, perhaps, for getting 2 points on the unbelievable athlete Sergio Oliva. And he does advance on in these brackets. And there you have it. The main event in the 1960s Gladiator Round Tournament. It is all set. Serge Nabray versus Sergio Oliva. And that promises to be a knockdown, drag-out affair, I can assure you. Both men possess some unbeatable poses. This is going to be an awesome, awesome final. And I have a little bit of an announcement to make, and I will be making this in all of the semifinal matches, or the second to last matches of all the Gladiator Round tournaments. I am going to wait till I receive 1,000 subscribers and I am finally monetized as a YouTuber before I release the main events in all of these tournaments. So, something that we can all look forward to is, of course, once I reach that 1,000 subscriber level and I start getting monetized, then I'm going to release much, much more videos and much more content for you guys. So, something to look forward to besides the next video, of course. But look forward to the semifinal in the 1970s Gladiator Round Tournament. And have a good day.